welcome everyone to another week of the Focus TV. We have Octavia White here, Cardell Dudley Jr., I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr., and this is Season 8, Episode 36. We will get started, as always, with the Washington Mystics, who are in action at this moment. The Mystics started their post-All-Star portion of the schedule. They started that off with the loss to the Sparks, which is the same team that they lost to before the All-Star break. Then they followed that up with an impressive defensive showing in a win over the Storm, where they put a stranglehold on one of the better teams in the league. Then they took a few steps back a few nights later in a double-digit loss to the Phoenix Mercury. Going into tonight's game, they're at 12-13 in the standings, so it's a big opportunity to get back to 500 for the fourth time this year. But if you missed any of the past episodes of Mystics Outlook, feel free to get over to our Roku channel, check out those recaps. But tonight we have a pregame interview that was taken before the Mystics got into tonight's game with the Chicago Sky. Ray is up at the arena. He spoke with Mystics center Shakira Austin.
Yes, Raymond Lyons with the Focus TV here with Shakira Austin. First things first, happy belated, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Leo. Tomorrow.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Thank you. This is the most games you played in the season since your rookie year, man. How does it feel just to be out here hooping?
It feels great. I've been waiting for this since my rookie season. I know I'm going into year 4, but I've literally only played 2 full seasons. So shut up, bro. So I'm just excited to be out here and just continue to learn and just show everybody what they've been missing out on.
What have you learned about yourself through this process?
I'm way more resilient than I thought I ever could be. I've been through a lot in my life, but I've been tested the past couple years, and just staying through and trusting God's process has been really big for me. And understanding His timing, no matter how much I work on it, it doesn't mean that's right for me in that moment. But just continue to pursue and know that I have a lot of big things in store for me.
And since you've been back, we've seen you kind of expand your game. You've been facing up, throwing some back to the basket stuff in there. And you've been getting the ball off the boards and pushing on the break, man. Just talk about your development and what you've been working on.
Yeah, since I came into the league, I always felt like my skill set was a little different than a normal post player. I've just been waiting to figure out how to unleash it in the right way. The organization has finally, allowed me to have the opportunity to be more confident in doing things that I know I can do. But now it's just putting it together and making sure I'm consistent with everything and continue to be a shifty post. That's what I am.
And you guys are a young team, but like you said, just as your 4th year, so you kind of got some skin in the game. Just what type of advice have you been giving to the younger players, and how have you guys started to gel over time?
Just know that there's going to be different waves of experience through this journey. There's going to be a lot of highs and a lot of lows, but just continue to stay steady and know there's a lot more basketball to be played. Just continue to trust your process and trust your work.
You kind of emerge as a vocal leader as well as a demonstrative leader. The game starts to turn when you get a big block and scream on folks. Just talk about your impact on the game.
I just always love playing with passion. I hate watching boring games personally. I think it's disrespectful to the game. So for me, I just like to bring my energy, put on a show. That's what my dad's always taught me, is to entertain and play towards the crowd. And, it's fun. That's what I want to give to WNBA.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate Ray, as always, speaking with Mystic Center Shakira Austin. Washington at this moment, 3-point game as the first half's kind of winding down. Angel Reese did come back for the Sky. I know she missed the past 2 games. Clearly didn't want to miss an opportunity to play close to home, or at least in the area. And Chicago, I'm sure, is very appreciative of that. Ariel Atkins is not playing in this game, so don't get a chance to see the former Mystic. For Mystic Outlook, folks, we will see y'all later this evening at the conclusion of that game. All right, Cardell, we got a lot to get into. It's that wonderful time of the year where it's a little bit slow before the ramp-up period. Octavia and I were talking last week before the show, like, when did we want to really put the NFL segment back into the mix? We decided week 1 of preseason, when actual football begins, because y'all are going crazy talking about one-on-ones and 7-on-7 in camp. Y'all need help. We're going to let y'all take some time to think about how you haven't been acting correctly, and we'll get back to y'all in due time. But Cardell, where we start?
Yeah, y'all expert analysis on the NFL will be needed tonight because there's a heavy dose of it, man. It's a lot of a lot of topics to discuss, but we're gonna start on the NBA side. We're gonna start on Take It or Leave It. First up, man, Shaquille O'Neal. We all know he's no fan of Minnesota Timberwolves center Rudy Gobert. He oftentimes has a lot to say about not just Gobert, but a lot of big men in the league currently. But he obviously has another another gripe with him. He continued to discuss Gobert on the latest episode of his podcast, The Big Podcast, providing further details for his dislike for Gobert. Quote, "I effing hate Gobert," Rudy O'Neal said. "Because of that mother, he's making $250 million and he doesn't deserve it, dog. As the president of the Big Man Alliance, you making big money, play like an effing big man. That's it. Play like an effing big man. Throw some bows, knock some people out. Don't be little white dudes from Denver dunking on you and talking ish to you. Then you got to grab them by the neck at the last second. Come on, bro. If you're going to ever be big, get paid big money, play big." O'Neal followed up his strong critique by issuing an unusual promise. Quote, "If Rudy Gobert gets in the Hall of Fame, I'll wear this dress to the mother effing ceremony." Two-part, man. Just take it or leave it, or two-part. Where one, do you agree with Shaq's analysis on Gobert, stepping it up? And do you feel like it's just old and played out that he keeps coming at Gobert every so often because he's made a lot more money in his NBA career than Shaq did? I'll say we're going to start with you.
My bad. And yeah, that's the reason why I'm gonna leave it, just because it's getting old at this point. Like, I understand, we know what a dominant big man Shaquille O'Neal was, but we know the money is not money in the same way it is now. The math wasn't math and like it needed to be for them back in the day. But you can't knock the man for making his money. I think we all can agree that he's not, the best big man ever to live this earth. I'm sure there are people who have issues with the fact that he's won multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards, because he can be used in certain situations, just not in all situations, as we've seen in many postseasons that he's played in. It's just getting old. Like, I get it. I'm not here to dispute. Shaq is, of course, one of the greatest. We know that. It's just getting old at this point. It's like, I understand it's his podcast. He can talk about whatever he wants in it. I feel you on that. But at some point, you got to let it go. Go on with your life. He has millions and millions, however you want to shake it out to be. He is an important, integral person to the Minnesota Timberwolves, so they say. They're the franchise, and they're the ones that are paying him. And I mean, you can have your opinion. He has his opinion. His opinion is being posted on his podcast. All well and good, but it's definitely getting tired. And I feel like the more and more he harps on it, the more and more he seems like a hater. And I don't think Shaquille O'Neal's a hater. I think he tries to speak the truth and how he tries to feel it at certain times. But it's starting to really like turn my thought process when it comes to him in these situations. It's like, just let it go, dog. Like, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do to change it. And I'm sure Rudy Gobert doesn't care.
Wilson.
Yeah, I take the part about, we all know the things Rudy needs to get better at, man. All right. Like, I'm sure the Wolves would love for you. Like, look, there's probably like 8 to 10 points a night he leaves on the court because he struggles at times. Just to, sometimes they dump the ball down to him when people are attracting to it, whatnot. He doesn't always catch everything cleanly. We have those, series or nights during the year when he's catching the ball cleanly, he makes teams pay for it. The problem is it's inconsistent how often he does that, right? And sure, that's an issue, cool. But like, for me, it's just like, all right, Shaq, you were messing with Dwight like forever. You're messing with JaVale like forever. JaVale got a couple chips, finally left him alone. Whatever it was with you and Dwight, I guess y'all, I saw them laughing up on the podcast, saw clips. I never hit play because it was corny. It looked corny before I hit play. I'm sure it was just as corny if I were to hit play. But all of a sudden they're cool or whatever. But even that was annoying. Like, I could get some of the stuff with Rudy, but with Dwight, what were you really upset about? Dwight played like Dwight was a physical problem on the offensive end. Dwight was never, I'm going to take jumpers or whatever. Like, it was drop step, all types of jump hooks, and trying to bury people in the rim for a good chunk of his career. So, we saw you get mad about the Superman thing. Super stupid, petty, corny. You're one of the older guys that makes it hard for the other older guys who really are fine to just tell the truth. You just do entirely too much. And then I really got to leave it on the wearing the dress to the ceremony. Like, just don't go. You don't like him. Why would you go? 2, if he does end up in the Hall of Fame, why would you go? Like, I still don't understand that. Why would you go? You really would do that to kind of take whatever shine away from his day. Like that, there's something wrong with you in this case for that. It just shouldn't be that deep. Yeah, the stuff Rudy needs to work on. Cool. All bigs are not going to be you, dude. You were one of one. Everyone doesn't look like you. You were running through center. Teams had to put centers on their roster just to die every night. That's your experience in the league. Everybody's not you. Yeah, there's some things Rudy, I'm sure folks would love Rudy to do better at, but this is just childish and stupid, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna leave it. I mean, obviously some truth to it because some things Rudy need to go and work on, specifically just his hands. That's a big part of being a big man. You gotta be able to catch the ball in traffic and be able to power up and finish and make plays, rebound and all that. But it's also half hate because he see a guy that he feel like he would have dominated and getting paid more than him, but a lot of players got paid more than your NBA salary because the money's up. It's a different economy. The things up, the things him and along with a lot of other great players when he played and prior to him set to the table for these guys to get paid the money that they're getting paid. When Rudy retires, there's a big man at high school or middle school that's coming up that we're gonna look up 10 years from now. He's gonna be getting paid more than Rudy Gobert. It is what it is. Rudy Gobert is a Hall of Famer because of his defensive exploits. Multiple time defensive player of the year, all defensive teams and all that, rebounder. I think he averages double figures for his career. He's a productive big man, you know what I mean? And the teams he's been on routinely get in the playoffs and they go deep. It's not like the man is out here averaging like 4 and 2 at 7-2, barely can get in the game and stuff like that, man. You know what I mean? Yes, he's not Shaq. He's not one of the top big men to ever play the game, but he's still an effective big man. I hate when players get on podcasts, not saying him, I'm talking about players that played against Gobert. I hate when they get on podcasts and all of a sudden get amnesia because they just join in the long line of people being critical. We've seen quite a lot of them duck Rudy when he's nearby. They would dribble the air out the ball, damn near run out the shot clock to avoid him. If he was that easy or that terrible of a player, you just go at him every time and score and get him off the floor. But it's not that simple. You know what I mean? So it's hate, man. And he's making it hard. He's a perfect example in the situation, along with another situation involving Clay, but we won't get into that. We're going to keep it about basketball, where the young guys in the league, youngest, don't respect OGs because of stuff like this. It's no reason. The season ain't even going on for you to even mess with Gobert. Gobert minding his business, man. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't said a word about you. So it's just a safe way. And Shaq over the years have shown to have a little hate. Nah, man, at times a lot of hate in his heart, man. Get over it, bro. You acting like the bitter old man, man. And you too great for that. What's done is done. Teams value what he brings to the table. He's getting paid for it. Who cares? Because, yes, you overall were a much better center. No one's going to even debate that. But there were flaws in your game, too. And I remember when he was a young big man and Wilt and Kareem were critical of him. He didn't like that. Now, he could say he manned up and figured out a way to win and do all that. But I remember when he didn't like it at first. You see what I'm saying? So, everybody's method to being a productive player is different. His method was different. You could be direct with him, blunt, hardcore with it, and he'll be motivated to go out there and literally break rims and bring the whole backboard down. Cool. Every player is not built that way. So if it wasn't hate, he would have put something in his dialogue as far as Rudy can do this to get better. It would be constructive criticism instead of just criticism. And he never brings that. That's how you know it's hate involved, man. So, and it's really just about the money. Just like, Wilson, you brought up the Dwight, it was the Superman moniker and all that crazy stuff, and promotion and all that. And he felt like Dwight was jacking up. We know what that was. JaVale McGee just became the butt of jokes, and it was funny. He jumped on that, but he was hurting that man's career. And even JaVale's mom, Pam McGee, like they had to get involved, like, yo, behind the scenes, like, you got to cut that out, because NBA front offices are really thinking he's just some goofy player, and it wasn't. Like, you got him a couple times of shackling the food, but it kept going. And it's like you're literally hurting his career. And it's making teams are hesitant to sign because they feel like that's what his career is going to be. But it was anything but that. Then all of a sudden he get with Golden State and the Lakers, win a couple championships, and the whole narrative around it is totally different. You don't even think about that. So there's a lot of miserable people in the world, especially now with all these podcasts and social media. You got to be careful what you put out there consistently, man, especially with someone that's Shaq's stature, because when you do that, people won't take it and run with it just because they're miserable and there's some negativity going towards somebody, and you just piling on. You know what I mean? So my thing is, my thing is this: if you don't like somebody, just ignore them. Don't even speak on it. Like, it's better stuff to do, man. But Rudy's not some trash player that you just dump on and stuff like that. Believe me, there are a lot of bigs in the league that you can just be like, man, why? What do you bring? But he's not one of them. He's one of the top defensive big men that ever played the game. And that's why he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, whether you like it or not. And not just the NBA Hall of Fame, FIBA Hall of Fame, all that. He's going to be in every Hall of Fame, whether you like it or not. All right, we're going to move on. Go on the WNBA side. Hey, man, we all share similar thoughts when the Liberty brought on two-time All-Star former Finals MVP Emma Meesman. That'd be mid-season signing. But Lynx coach Cheryl Reed thought about the Liberty's new addition, kind of nonchalant about it. When asked of her opinion on Meesman joining the reigning champs, Reed simply said she made the wrong choice. Meesman was reportedly deciding between the Liberty, Lynx, and Phoenix Mercury as her next WNBA team, marking her return to the league after 3 years abroad. Though the 6'4" Belgian argued as extra depth to an already stacked Liberty squad, Reed clearly thinks it's Meesman's loss, not the Lynx. The Lynx versus Liberty is rapidly turning to the W's next big rivalry. Obviously, man, we love it. It's going to be high-level competition if they are to meet up later in playoffs. Take it or leave it. Lynx head coach Cheryl Reed, like, hey, she messed up, not us. Thoughts, Wilson?
Hey, man, whoever didn't get her was going to say this. All right, between these two teams. And if she somehow took option C, then both of them would have said she picked the wrong team. Like, come on, man. I get it, but I kind of hate when teams do this. When both of you are seeking said player, don't tell me they picked the wrong team when both of y'all were interested. Both of y'all were looking for her services to hopefully have her be another reason to put you over the top of the other team that was also vying for her talents, so they can help you get over the hump or keep that team at bay. So I just think it kind of like tongue-in-cheek type comment for Cheryl Reeves, but I'll take it just for the rivalry and what it means. Why not? I know they play this week. I doubt Emma's going to be here, but I'm sure Emma has a chance to play a big role in it if things shape up, like you mentioned, Cardell, later down the line. That said, both of y'all wanted her, so whoever didn't get her was going to have this type of response to me. But love Cheryl Reeves, hilarious.
Octavia.
Yeah, I'm taking it for the petty of it. It is what it is. I'm not surprised. I feel like Cheryl Reeves speaks her mind a lot when it comes to stuff like this. So I'm not surprised she said it. It's a way to save face to a certain degree. When it comes down to, we wanted her. Obviously, she didn't think enough of us to come play with us, and she wanted to go play for the defending champions, So I take it for the, like Wilson said, the art of the back and forth and the budding rivalry that we have between these two teams. It's good for the league as far as, pure rivalry. Like, I don't think there are a lot of teams that you can really just know off the top of your head like these two teams are rivals. So it's cool to see it in that way. But like Wilson said, like anybody who didn't get her would feel the same way because we know the type of player and caliber player that Emma Miesemann is. So it just sucks to be them. They just happen to lose out on this situation. Maybe if they win the chip this year, and another player of her stature or somewhere near her stature has a decision to make between the two teams, maybe they decide on the Lynx. Never know.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking it just for the competition factor. Obviously she has people on both sides. Like Eric Tabal, who coached the Mystics, was a long-time assistant on the Mike Tabals with the Lynx. And then Tosh obviously won the championship with her and with the Liberty. And I think the Liberty has some of her Belgian teammates on the roster as well, from the Belgian national team. So I think that's why they won. They won over. Plus, I think at her age, she don't want to kind of be looked at as somebody like a primary option. I think she kind of want to be someone that assists things. And obviously with Jonquil and Brianna Stewart and all those ladies, INS school, she won't need to be that. But yeah, I like it, but what else she supposed to say? She supposed to say like, yeah, we really needed her, man, and all that. That's kind of, you're gonna have your team looking at you crazy. Though it's gonna be hard to go back in the locker room. It's like, what we busting our ass for you before that? I ain't trying to hear all that, man. So, it is what it is. Look, the beautiful things about these things, it guarantees nothing. It's just a great thing. And it's just gonna add that much more to it. And then if they do meet and they beat the Liberty, it's gonna be a lot of ish talking in the post game, especially, and not just from Cheryl. That backcourt love to talk. That backcourt love to talk. So, it's gonna be fun, man. But it's competition. It's all fun and games, man. You know what I mean? Because then if the Liberty win, Emma gonna, hey, I made the right decision, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just all part of it, man. So as long as it don't get too out of hand, man. But yeah, I mean, she's supposed to back up her team, and that's what she did. So, but I'm looking forward to it. But you gotta play the games because they got other teams they gotta get through to possibly meet up again. Teams are ramping up as we can all see. NFL side, it's safe to say 2024 didn't go the way new Commanders wide receiver Deebo Samuels. For fans of Deebo Samuels' division, although he started 15 games for the 49ers, he finished the season with just 670 receiving yards, 136 rushing yards, and 4 total touchdowns. A modest haul, but less than his 892 receiving yards, 225 rushing yards, and 12 touchdowns from the year prior. Look, from the outside, man, it felt like some of it was effort related, or by the wideouts on estimation. His reduced production had to do with him not getting the ball, but he was also dealing with a bout of pneumonia for which he was hospitalized at one point. So it's not like, he was healthy for a chunk of last season as well. Quote, I was sleeping one night, woke up at probably like 2, 3 in the morning, couldn't stop coughing, but I never had pneumonia and never knew what it was. Samuels told reporters, I wake up in the morning, get ready for the game. I call my IV lady to come do some breathing treatment, get an IV, because I just thought I was like dehydrated, just needed some sugar or something along those lines. And going out there to pregame warmer, I just couldn't breathe. Literally couldn't breathe, couldn't move. So I went in the training room, got another IV. I just thought something was just wrong. And then probably 4 or 5 plays in the game, I feel like if I would have won another play, I probably would have crashed. So I was just like, hey, coach, something isn't right. We got to see what's going on. And I go to the hospital and my whole chest is like flamed up. So I was in the hospital probably like 3-4 days and got out. And me, the competitor I am, I just put myself in a position to be in the best shape possible and just go out there and want to contribute to the team winning this season. Now I'm preparing for a fresh start in Washington following an off-season trade. Samuel was assuring fans he still got a lot left to give. Quote, yeah, I still got a lot in the tank. He has, if he feels like he has something to prove with this new team, like I just said, I just go out here and get better every day. Whatever position they put me at to go out here and make plays, I'm going to do the best of my ability. Xavier, do you see Deebo getting back to his Pro Bowl form this season with the Commanders? Obviously, I know you don't want to see that against your Eagles, but
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because it is Deebo, and we've seen the caliber player he's been over the past couple of years. this is gonna sound real petty when I say it, but I mean, most of the times we have pneumonia, you lose a lot of weight, but I don't really know what happened. But neither here nor there. I can't completely count him out because of the type of caliber player that he is, but he's literally doing a show me year. Like, you got to show me at this point. And I hate to say that for him because, like I said, we've seen him do it, but I want to see it now because there was so much of a down, situation last year. We know that they, had a lot of injuries, which would have given him a lot of opportunities, but he wasn't really able to step up to that situation, whether it be, weight, whether it be pneumonia, whether it be decline, whatever you want to call it. He's in a perfect position where he's not, as long as the Commanders re-sign Terry McLaurin, where he's not the guy. We know that Zach Ertz is also one of Jaden McDaniels' favorite receivers. So he's not the one he can really kind of just fit in where he needs to. So he has a great opportunity knowing that the Commanders are a team on the up and up to prove himself. So at this point, I don't want to hear him say it. Like, he just got to go out there and do it at this point and remind people who he claims he still is. And I think that'll change the outside narrative on him because we know the narrative that everybody's been talking about when it comes to him. It's going to be a different situation if for whatever reason, even though I don't think this is going to happen, but if for whatever reason the Commanders just cannot re-sign Terry McLaurin, which I think is crazy, I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know in the National Football League at this point. That will kind of thrust him into a more higher role within their offense, so that will put a lot of pressure on him. But if he can stay where he is as the number 2 wide receiver, maybe third option behind Terry McLaurin and Zach Ertz. I can't think of who they're Brian Robinson Jr. as a running back. They got some good pieces. And then, of course, Jaden McDaniels. He should be all right. But at this point, he got to really just go out there and show it. Show everybody that in his mind last year was a fluke. Because a lot of people are looking at it as the decline for him, when it sounds like he's just looking at it as one bad year and is ready to get back to the type of caliber player we've seen him in the past.
Wilson, I know you got a lot to say about this.
Oh, man, I really don't, bro. Let me tell you a wonderful story about this thing called Odd Year Debo. All this talk is irrelevant. Odd year, he cooks. Even year, usually there's a whole bunch of random stuff happens and he's not him. Look, real quick, I'll run through what's happened in his career. 2019, it was a rookie, right? Went to Super Bowl that year, whatever. 802 yards, receiving 159, rushing 961 yards from scrimmage, right? Cool. I think it was 6 touchdowns that year. Wonderful. 2020, crash and burn year. Played 7 games, only started 5. Yeah, whatever. 2021, that's the crazy year when he took Jimmy G in that team and put the whole franchise on his little back and went nuts. And then Jimmy G sold later on that year. Then the year after that, struggled a little bit. I think kind of like they had him in that weird place with Jimmy are you running back, the whole wide back thing, whatever. Niners in the freaking famous for the long going contract negotiations. And usually every player that goes to one of those, that year that they get paid is like a throwaway year. Guess what year that was, folks? An even year. 2023. Debo bounces back. He's Debo again. 15 games he played in, started off 15 games, 892 yards receiving, damn near 15 yards a catch. He goes and has in 2021, that crazy all-pro year, 1,770 yards from scrimmage, 14 touchdowns. In 2023, 1,117 yards from scrimmage, 12 touchdowns. Then we go to last year, even number year. All the crap that happened last year in the Bay, I think most of it was, I don't think a lot of it was on him, but Debo's one of those guys where I liken him to like Zion, one of those like freakish athletes in a unique shape build where if they're a little off with their weight, it throws everything out the window. And they have to be really, really like really on top of it to stay in that space where they can be freakishly explosive, strong as a tank, and still be durable. He had an issue where like hamstrings because he's so explosive. When his weight's just a little bit off, hammies. And we all know, the type of explosive player he is, how powerful he is. But man, all that stuff aside, it's an odd year. I expect him to be fully fine. If I was Terry McLaurin, I know him and his agent trying to get big money. I think y'all are doing too much. In that offense right now, I think the worst thing in the world for you, knowing that you didn't have a contract in place, was Debo coming over here because he's fighting for his last big contract too. And this is one of the things, and I hope people don't take this crazily. Debo's going from one system to another system. These are two totally different systems. Also, not to knock what the Commanders have on offense. He's not fourth or fifth option. It's not McCaffrey, Brandon, Jawan. All that crap is not in place over there. Also, the quarterbacks are different. The way that Brock wins is a little bit different than the way Jaden wins. They're both really good processors, but Jaden is good processor, great processor with the high-end tools, right? He in a flash could roll right and launch that thing 90, 80, 70, what have you. That has defenses play you different. For somebody like Debo who's not that great against man-to-man, because of Jaden Daniels, he shouldn't have the issues he had in Sanford at times, which is last year when Brandon went down, life sucked for them. Mm-hmm. That was the man beater. Jawan did okay at times, but Brandon going down hurt. And really, their offense was still top 10. Debo was fine. Just in that offense, once they got Christian McCaffrey, what Debo meant to that offense decreased a little bit because of you had similar people doing similar things. There's nothing like Debo in Washington. He's going to be fine. He stays healthy. He's going to go nuts. And no disrespect to that division, he hasn't been tackled by anybody in that division since he's been in the league on a regular basis. He should have a great, wonderful time with the linebackers and DBs in the NFC East. So I expect a big year if he stays healthy, literally just because it's 2025. It's an odd year, man. Odd year Debo's a thing.
And he's also playing with a very special quarterback, so that can really open things up for him. So all he got to do is do his part and should open things up, man. But, yeah, we're going to move on. Stay in the NFL side of things. The Cleveland Browns have a feisty quarterback competition on their hands with as many as 4 different signal callers vying for starting duties this fall. Of the mixed group, rookie Shedeur Sanders has attracted the lion's share of the spotlight due to his stunning draft slide back in May when he wasn't selected into the 5th round by the Browns. Sanders, who's the second quarterback taken by Cleveland behind Dillon Gabriel, who has seemingly done his best to leave his drama-filled draft story in the past and focus on his development this offseason. Yet, Browns owner Jimmy Haslam oddly brought up the 2025 draft months later during Tuesday training camp media session. Haslam stressed that GM Andrew Berry made the call to draft Sanders and seemed to suggest that he himself had not been in favor of the Sanders pick. Quote, "If you had told me Friday night driving home, y'all going to pick Shedeur, I would have said that's not happening," Haslam said. But we had a conversation early Saturday morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur. Oh, man. Just, Wilson, we're going to start with you, man. Your thoughts on the owner, man. Just throwing another log on the flame that was slowly dying down, man.
Hey, man, this is how I know he's actually the answer for the Browns, because they never know what's good for them. Dude, do you just understand what you just did? If he works out, you don't get to take credit for any of it. Any of it. This meant they did this in spite of you and regardless of your wishes, and it might have helped your franchise. But y'all gave Deshaun Watson all that money or whatever, but again, all that nonsense aside, like, I know going into the draft, one of the things I was concerned with him, I didn't care about all the noise really, was he's one of the better quarterbacks in that class. Cool. All that other stuff is whatever. My biggest thing was that I wanted him to end up in a good system. And I thought the type of system that would work best with him, would work best for him, was one of those McVay Shanahan type offshoots, somebody in those trees. There's a bunch of timing, the ball comes out quick, he can play on time, it'll be fine. It's something where when we saw him do that in college, it looked really good. The times when it wasn't like that, it was a struggle. Colorado had some other issues going on, but that's hilarious to me. That is just so Cleveland Brownish, dude. Like, y'all just finished almost fumbling Myles Garrett, and then you want to turn around and do this. Mind you, almost every veteran on your freaking team has already gravitated to this kid. Even if you didn't agree with it, find a way to say no comment. But to jump all the way out here, because this means, brother. If this works out for y'all, you were the idiot who didn't want it. This is what this means. This is what you did. You were the idiot that didn't want it. Mind you, your social media team's blasting him as if he was the number one pick since he got drafted. But that's another story for another day. But this is so Cleveland's Brown. This is why the Browns are the Browns. It's this. It's literally this. It's the jokes can't write themselves, man.
I'll tell you.
Yeah. I think a lot of these owners just need to learn the art of silence. A lot of things I feel like they say don't need to be said. It doesn't make you look any better or worse to a certain degree, but it doesn't make you look any better. We already know there is, for lack of a better term, controversy around the fact that they have 4 potentials, I guess you call them starters, coming up in their quarterback room right now, especially with Kenny Pickett being out with a hamstring injury. So he'll be out for a week or so. This definitely gives Shedeur Sanders a better opportunity to try to solidify if he's going to be able to get into the starting lineup. And we know how essential it is for pretty much all of them, especially Shedeur and Gabriel, knowing that if it doesn't go that well this year for the Browns in the quarterback room, they'll probably be in the market for another quarterback and a quarterback-rich draft next year. But I just feel like the owner he just says things that don't need to be said out loud. Like you can have your own internal feelings about however it is. I mean, again, like you guys said, the draft was 4 months ago at this point. We're basically in August and it was in April. Like 4 months ago, like why are we still bringing this up? He's here outside of some speeding tickets. He's kept his nose clean. He's out there trying to do, what he needs to do. I feel like in the interviews that I've seen Shedeur talking, he says all the right things. He's doing all the right things. Just get that man a chance. Like y'all drafted him. It's over and done with. I don't understand the point of dwelling back on the fact of, we would have never picked him. But we had a conversation like, well, damn, we know you would have never picked him because y'all didn't pick him to the 5th round. Like you had ample opportunities to pick him before that. And you didn't. So obviously we knew that there was some type of strife between you, your GM, and whoever else is in your circle when it comes down to draft day. So we knew that there was something. We didn't need you to say it. We're smart enough to make, draw an inference and use our context clues when it comes down to it. It just seems like another, just dig at the kid where, he's doing everything he can to try his best to make it in a league that's really hard to make it in, So especially for me, like I'll be the first person to tell you, I'm not a huge Shedeur like aficionado, super fan or anything, but I do hope the kid gets a good shake, and gets a good opportunity to at least show them what he can do. And it seems like that's what he's trying to do. And now he has even more, like I said, even more opportunity knowing that Kenny Pickett is going to be out. Because if you look at it, it's really now with Kenny Pickett being out, a 2-man race because they know what they got in Joe Flacco. We know Deshaun Watson not doing nothing. So we know that, even though there's been reports that he's been working out really hard on the sideline, we know it's going to be between these two, and they're going to have to play well beyond training camp. They're going to have to play well into the season, knowing the draft prospects that they have for next year. So I just wish the owners would, be owners, stay away from the cameras, unless you're doing some very high up pointed interview with somebody, a docu-series or something. But yeah, I don't understand the point of it. But again, Mike Wilson said it's the Browns. We know they've been inept to winning pretty much my whole life. So
Yeah, I had to dig up some. Well, he didn't play football. His father did, played at Tennessee. Haslam was a Tennessee graduate. He's a successful businessman, obviously. Owns the Browns, has a stake in the Bucks, owns the soccer team as well. Has a number of major businesses that he owns or whatnot. Sometimes I think owners can be tone deaf because, like I said, they're coming into the sports world with a business mindset, of being blunt and straightforward and all that. And in a business mindset, like say if we are in a meeting, if I say something blunt about Octavia Wilson, it's staying within the confines of this boardroom of this meeting. When you do it in a press conference, it's literally because it's an NFL, it's reaching around the world. So now that's another major distraction for not just your team, but the individual player that you just drafted. Sometimes as a reporter, I wish they would have asked the follow-up question, well, why would he have been a prospect that you weren't looking to draft? Like, what was wrong with him? And see, that would tell the tale of, is it BS or is it just some stuff he heard, or is it how they were carrying things, the showy stuff that they were carrying throughout their time in Colorado, the stuff that they were saying, Deion was saying, I'm not going to let him go to certain places and stuff that turned a lot of these owners off, which I thought was a mistake on my, because I'm like, you got to understand the game you're playing. You're not going to strong arm billionaires and this is my shit. Like, let's just call it what I own this. You're not going to strong arm me to do nothing I don't or do want to do with something that I own. So just those comments, I'm sure, turned a lot of those guys off. But again, that was Deion's comments. That wasn't Shedeur's. And Shedeur's has gone out his way the entire time since he's been drafted to come in with humility and just work. So it was no need to even come with these comments. Judge him off what you're seeing now, because a lot of things can be made about people. Hell, some people come in to the NFL and they're the all-American guy. Like, oh man, great character. And you come in, man, this motherfucker asshole. You a total asshole. Like, get him up out of here. So you got to judge them based off their talent first. But that's what the intel scouting is for. You're supposed to get in there and see what's going on as far as character and really follow all that, because that's the telltale. That's the separation right there. Because look, man, in the draft, talent's separated by just that much, but the character can make that gap even wider. You know what I mean? So I just don't understand it. Give a kid a chance to show what he can do, but I will give the owner credit on this. He didn't make the mistake a lot of owners make. He let the football people make the decision. He didn't overrule them. A lot of owners would have stepped in. I just don't want the kid. I don't want the kid. And then you're answering questions about, why you didn't draft Randy Moss. Why didn't you draft Lamar Jackson, John Elway?
Why didn't you draft Justin Jefferson?
Yeah. I'm still pissed about. We got a nice little young quarterback. We cool, but I'm still pissed about. I'm just throwing little things out there.
I'm having fun. We didn't draft Justin Jefferson.
Hey man, come on, man. So
Jalen Rager.
We're in a time where a lot of people are successful in one lane and they think they could translate to other lanes because they're successful in the other lane. No, you jump in this other lane, you got to start at the bottom and build yourself right back up like you did in the other lane, right? Sports is definitely one of those areas where you got to put in work to know what's going on. Yes, you cut the checks, no doubt, but you hire these football people to do certain things. Let them build a football team, and then you go from there. And you just show up in the booth, in the suite, and cheer on, and then hopefully y'all start winning some games and y'all be competitive. That's it, man. It was just totally unnecessary. To me, it was just sending another little jab at Shedeur and the Sanders family for no reason. And like he been holding on to that, he just had to get it off his chest type of deal, man. It's just totally unnecessary, man. But here's the thing, Shedeur, let's say he get his chance, he get the starting job sometime, and he go out there and ball and all that. We all know how this play out. The first cheerleader that's gonna be on camera is gonna be the owner. So how is Shedeur supposed to feel about that? Now he gonna be professional. Go ahead. You know how we roll. We ain't with that fake stuff, bro. You know, we're going to do it for the camera. As soon as the camera, all right, man, go about your business. You know, I'm like, come on, bro. I never disrespected you. So it's just unnecessary, man. Like, he could have had a behind the scenes conversation on, like, yo, come here, Shador. Look, man, there's a lot of things, I'm gonna be real with you, I didn't like from what I've seen and heard from afar, but I'm gonna judge you off how we deal with each other moving forward. So all that's gone. Show me what you about now, and we fine. So ignore what you're hearing in the media, the noise. I'm judging you off what you showing me from here on out, and then just move on. And you could have just came up there like, man, nah, man, you know, it's an organizational decision to draft the kid. We're excited about the group of quarterbacks we have, and we're going to let the coaching staff make the best decision on whoever performs best in training camp, and we're going to move forward. That's all you had to say.
PR training, media training, Jesus.
Yeah, man, it's real simple, man. Now, when you get behind, you know, eating cocktails with your folks and all that, probably a different conversation. But I put that out there in the media. So it is what it is, man. It's just unnecessary, but rooting for Shador. Hopefully he get a fair shot to just show what he got, man.
Yeah.
NBA, we're going to switch over to the NBA. Chris Paul, you know, he returned to the Los Angeles Clippers last week on a one-year deal at the age of 40. He is not set on this being his final NBA season. Paul instead told ESPN that he's unsure of his career plans following the 25-26 season. Quote, I don't know. I think throughout the season, at some point, you sort of figure it out yourself. It tells you. More than anything this season, I would definitely enjoy it. I don't take this for granted. I've been wanting to get back with my family for a while to now have the opportunity. This was not a definite. This was not something that always comes around, so I approached it with so much gratitude. The former number 4 pick in the 2005 NBA draft, Paul is set to enter the 21st season of his career and second stint with the Clippers. He is one of the oldest players in the league behind LeBron James and PJ Tucker. But it's going to be cool. Paul told reporters of playing at 40 years old during his introductory press conference with the Clippers on Monday. Like I say, it's a lot of gratitude to still get a chance to play at this age. I've always believed in keep stacking days. You just have to show up every single day. That's what I plan on bringing to this team. Do you see Paul playing beyond this season, and what impact do you see him making with the Clippers, who low-key have made some interesting additions to their roster to be in the mix, to make some noise this upcoming season? Octavia, I'll start with you.
Yeah. Selfishly, I mean, we know Chris Paul is, you know, the point guard when it comes down to playing in the league. You know, he's one of the best to ever do it. So selfishly, I would, you know, you want to see him play as long as he can. But realistically, I think this is the end for him. I think this is going to be his final season. I mean, barring anything crazy, I would assume. I'm hopeful that he stays healthy, you know, to get through this season as well. And I think, like you said, the Clippers have made some interesting moves. You know, they got Brad Beal, they got James, somebody else went over there, I can't think, but they've made a couple of different moves. So I think he's going to play, you know, the role that he's been playing a lot recently in his last couple of years. He's going to be that wily vet. You know, I think there was already a little bit of chatter on the, you know, once he decided to get signed that, you know, he's coming off the bench behind James Harden to that degree. You know, it is what it is. But I think he's always going to bring a level-headedness to them that they probably have been missing. You know, they still got Kawhi. You know, they got a good opportunity. You know, they didn't do terrible last year in the playoffs. You know, they were just missing a couple of key pieces and, you know, really that dog mentality down the stretch of it. So I'm happy for him because, you know, majority of his, I mean, he was there for 6 years. And I believe they, you know, a good bulk of his career was there, and he did a lot of his, for lack of a term, damage in the league in a Clippers uniform. And it's crazy to think he, you know, a lot of people thought he was going to be in a Lakers uniform, and we never got that. So he happened to be, you know, with the Clippers, and he had a great career with them. So I know his family is a big important part to him, and his family has really been home based in LA. So it's good for him in that aspect. And then I also think his son is getting to the age where he's going to want to be more involved. I know Cardell went to EYBL not that long ago for Peace Jam. To see him on the bench coaching, like as frequently as he does. Like I look forward to that aspect of him as well in his coming years. But yeah, I think it'll be, his final season, but I think he'll be that vet that can give them some knowledge off the bench or, play sparingly. But it's nice to see him go back to the Clippers.
First off, John Collins and
Forgot about him.
John Collins and Brooke Lopez are the
That's
additions.
what it was, Brooke Lopez. I was like, it was somebody else, kind of big-ish name. Yeah.
And also look out for their rookie center. I don't know how much burn he's gonna get, but he's super talented. Yannick Niederhausen out of Penn State, super athletic, big. He killed. He got an invite to the G League camp, elite camp. Killed at the combine. He with the Clippers, man, but he got a lot of talent with him. And speaking of Pijan, when you brought up his son, I remember his son was a little kid like 10 years ago, and Chris Paul was making him sweep the floor in between games. They like keep him humble. Like when CP3 played, hey yo, go out there and sweep the floor, man. Make sure the floor ain't sweaty. Like put him to work like that when he was a little kid, man. But like time just flies, man. But
I still think he should be older than what he is. Like that's how long I feel like I've seen his son around. Like I feel like he should be like his 20s by now or something. But
man, like yeah, man. But look, Chris Paul, one of the greatest point guards ever play. I think for the way this team is built, he will have a significant impact because it's not about him putting up stats.
Sure.
Controlling the game, finding other guys, and just making the right reads to put them in the best position to win the game. That's it. And win playoff series. That's it. The thing that I believe will kind of retire him, I'm just looking at his numbers. Obviously, it was career lows for the most part last season, but obviously he's playing through Wemby. You had De'Aaron Fox and Castle, rookie of the year, so they were the options, and he was just playing his role just as a true point. But he also, his defensive rating last year was a 118. That's the lowest of his career, and it's been steadily declining over the last few years, man. And that's the telltale for real before the offensive output, kind of goes down. It's the defensive output, because if you can't guard and the older you get, yeah, you got to go, player. Like, because you ain't gonna get no better with that. It ain't like you're gonna get younger. Sure. He averaged 8, still 7 assists, which is still great at 39. 3 rebounds, 1.3 steals, only 1.6 turnovers, but he shot 42% from the field. So that tells me he was struggling to finish inside, but he shot 37% from deep and 92% from the free throw line. So, and he was only taking 7 shots. So you shooting 42% on limited shots, that's just tough. But like I said, the other facet of his game is still efficient and all that. It's just a matter of can he hold up where he could be on the floor enough where teams won't try to pick on him with younger guards, man. Because that's gonna be it. Like I always say, that the league is ruthless when you can't guard. And he's been one of also not just the great. When I say great floor generals, I'm talking about all aspects. He could also strap up. Like I seen him at 6 feet get on power forwards and make them work and get stops like in playoff games and stuff. So. He's definitely a dog on that end, but father time is father time, man. You looking out west, man. You get in a playoff series, you got to deal with Ja, or you got to deal with Jamal Murray. Luka gets you slimmed down. Luka gets you. You know what I'm saying? That's just tough. You know what I mean? It's gonna be tough to keep him on Shea. Well, I mean, come on. Ant. Young fella Rob. He getting in the game. You see what I'm saying? Or your young boys you help groom. Castle. Dylan Harper, young boys coming in like I'm ready to eat now, dog. Respect to y'all, but Steph, still there. You gotta look at all that, man. The Houston Rockets, what they doing. So, even on the other end, they put Amen Thompson on you. Can you still lead with that hound on you? You see what I'm saying? And or OKC, they send the Wolves at you, Dort, Caruso. It's tough. That's why I like his answer. He said, "We'll see you during the season," because that's when you really know. You know what I mean? That's when he gonna know. It's like, hold on, man. I know when I was, what Shannon Sharp say. I was hell when I was well. That's what it's gonna be. Like I know this dude that couldn't get in the game when I was at my prime ain't busting me up. And that's when you gonna know, man. But But luckily from him, he's not going to have to be in that position too much. I think Ty Lue, being a point guard himself, he'll understand the signs where Chris ain't got it. And that's why you get Brad Beal and all those guys to take the load and all that, man. So, we're going to see, man. They got an interesting roster where if they can stay healthy in jail, they could be one of them annoying super veteran teams. And that's dangerous with these young boys trying to figure it out getting in the playoffs because they know what to do. It's just a matter of their bodies will respond to what they know what to do. The young boys don't know what to do. They just got the talent to get it done, and that's going to be the clash to see who can rise to the occasion, with what they're lacking, man. So to overcome what they're lacking. So we're going to see. But, yeah, I'm 50-50 right now, based off the season, he came off of it. He can possibly do another year. And I think it's remarkable he's still playing at 40, even though we saw John Stockton do it, back in the day. It's still remarkable that he did it, man. He's still doing it because 6-foot point guards, they usually about here in 34, 35, man. But he in 40 about to play. So that just a testament to how professional he is, keeping his body right, staying in the lab all these years and, doing what needs to be done. Last question before we get out of here, man. Got to pick a good one. Man, yeah, man. You're going to go on and stay on the NBA side. Los Angeles Lakers point guard Luka Doncic stunned the basketball world this week by unveiling an impressive new body transformation as part of the latest men's health cover story. The 26-year-old often scrutinized for his weight and conditioning despite his monumental success on the court, credited an intense diet and a revamped training program for the changes he's been able to make. You can count Magic Johnson, former Lakers star and current Basketball Hall of Fame, among those fired up about Doncic's offseason overall. He posted on Twitter and wrote the following: I love how Luka is showing his Laker teammates how serious he is about winning the championship in Los Angeles by transforming his body. Thoughts on Luka, Slim Luka, coming there looking like the best shape of his life, man. Wilson, what does it mean for the Lakers and what does it mean for the league?
For the league, he about to be hell on steroids, man. He would think about the rookie Luka having his full range of athleticism, except with the increased muscle, right? So this is what his body probably should have looked like for the last 3 to 4 years. But whatever happened, we're here. For the Lakers, this is why you made that trade. This is why, hey, old man, it's a new sheriff in town. This is why it's his team. This is what you're paying for. This dude's one of the best players in the league when not fully healthy. I can't wait to see what it looks like in this level of shape. But for the Lakers, I mean, it definitely, to me, it gives them more of a fighting chance. I don't really like some of the stuff on the roster still, compared to with some of the other, you just talk about the Clippers, Cardell. You want to talk about a team that kind of like insulated itself for having old players. How about if you have enough old players that all of them you just hope everyone's back or whatever it is doesn't mess up at the same time, but there's enough of them to get you through the season. Also, you got the cyborg over there that you're gonna keep plugged in for the first portion of the year. Then you take him out as rack later in the year. But for the Lakers, because of the Clippers, because of Houston, because of the reigning champs, because of the Timberwolves, you need your best player to be this, to give yourself a chance out west, because it's nasty out there. It's disgusting out there. But I can't wait to see what it looks like, because dude's amazing. It's just, come on, man. And now there's no excuse for you not to play any defense. You lost what you were carrying, sir. So now it's a choice. If you don't do it now, after this, it's a choice. And that's a whole different discussion. But yeah, he needs to be in tip-top shape to try to give the Lakers a chance to, hey man, to do what they need to do out west. It's nasty out there. Teams are not playing. It's disgusting out west. Everyone got bigger but the Lakers out west, like everybody. You talk about the Wolves, their young fellas last year sitting there chomping at the bit. They ready to jump in and help. Their lead guy is still a young fella. Shea and them still young. They just paid the 3 of their dudes, and their extensions don't even kick in. They're so young, their extensions don't kick in. They got pending extensions.
You don't think DeAndre? You don't think Ayton and Jackson Hayes enough, man?
That's what I was about to say. They got DeAndre Ayton, you know?
I've done a really good job today. Y'all not gonna bring me there. I'm gonna continue to be where I was at. I appreciate y'all's attempt. Luka needs to be able to average damn near triple double to get his team what they need.
What was the time remind you in case you forgot? That's all.
I knew it was there, and I was doing my best to talk about the rest of the West got bigger without shaming the choices they made in their front court. That's their choice. They're grown. But yeah, I like this response. I wish it happened a couple years sooner, but this is how the response after what happened this past year. You know, you didn't want to leave Dallas or whatever. You get shipped out. People talking crazy about you. Some of it to your own. Some of it you know, to your own. Hold yourself accountable. Your weight should have never been where it was. But that said, yeah, man, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait. Again, you've been a top 5, top 10 player in this league without being in peak shape, brother. I can't wait to see what it looks like. But yeah, for the Lakers, yeah, man, choices have consequences, whatever works, man. But I'm happy for Luka.
I'll tell you.
All right, so I'm gonna start off being petty. Somebody give his trainer's number to Zion because this is what we've been waiting on Zion to do as well. But neither here nor there. I'm excited too. You know, I want to see what it looks like. I think that's the hardest thing for us as fans of the game is that we saw what he looked like in a different capacity. To see him now do what a lot of people have been calling on him to do for the last however many years it is, and to see him doing it and to see the results look the way that they look. I want to see how it actually pans out in the flow of an entire season. Does it help him not have as many soft tissue injuries? Does it, like Wilson also stated, does it also show that you should really be able to move your puppies a little bit more and be able to play a little bit of defense? Because I feel like towards the end of the season, I feel like he gave more of an effort. Now, that's very slim when it comes to Luka, but I feel like he tried to a certain degree. So now that you have a little less that you got to carry around, does your effort become a little bit greater? Is it the gauze of being a LA Laker that, you know, the light bulb switched on in your head? Is it from being around, you know, they like to say, you know, him being around LeBron is going to change his mindset. Did that really happen? All of these things that I want to see actually pan out to what is it going to look like on the floor. Like Wilson also said, you know, I don't know how much I expect from the Lakers as a whole. But I feel like as well, if they're going to have any type of chance, they're going to need him at 100% tip-top shape, knowing that you're going to have a 41-year-old LeBron James who has been solidly knocking out, you know, Father Time every now and then, but you never know when he's going to throw a haymaker and come get this man. So, you know, you got to have something, you know, kind of up your sleeve in this situation. So kudos to him, proud of him, because, you know, it's hard to get a lot of that scrutiny in, you know, in this day and age. You know, literally there are cameras everywhere you go. There's social media aspect of it. So for him to be able to like hunker down and really get this done, happy for him. I think they said he's gluten-free now, so maybe that helped him. I don't know. I don't even know what gluten is, to be fair. But he's free of it, and maybe that's been helping him in this situation. But yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to see it. You know, I'm not a Lakers fan. I've never liked the Lakers, to be fair, but I'm very, you know, pro individual players, and, you know, if they can, you know, do what they need to do, you know, kudos to him, because we all know he lost a lot of money in this trade. So I'm sure, you know, this is like the beginning of a, you know, I guess this is like revenge body, like when your boyfriend breaks up with you and you go and get a revenge body, and here he is. So I guess we'll see how it all pans out, because he was like, wait till I see my ex next year.
Yeah, man. Wow, that's a hell of an analogy, man. But yeah, Larry Legend Jr., man, y'all know I like to call him that. That's 28-7 out of shape, bro. That's tough. And he ready to go now. And the reason why he lost all that weight, he been doing 2 days fasting. So he's not eating and going to work. So he dropped weight quick. That's why you saw like early the summer, June, May, he slimmed down. The thing is, the thing is, everybody kind of gets slimmed down in the summer. You know, you doing your thing for the most part. The thing is, when the winter hits and you in LA and stuff like that, keeping the weight off then, because it's easier to get the weight back on because you're not practicing as much. You're traveling. It's cold. You tired from games, so it's easy for you to make excuses like I ain't doing this no more. I could skip steps, and then the weight will come back on. And then the habits he, with his eating now that he kind of got away from, like no alcohol and all that, he's going to have to stay away from. You know what I'm saying? And it's a grind of a season, man. So, that's the telltale of how real serious, he is. We're going to see, like I said, during the dog days, the end of December, January, when everybody just dragging in the All-Star break, and then they get their second win and make their playoff push. But with that being said, if he's truly committed to this, it's going to be bad. And I'm eager to see that first game against Dallas. He messed them up like that was just, he messed them up a little bit last year, but I'm like, with Cooper there, this is my replacement. This what y'all was okay. Like, not, and he into, like, it's not without the realm of possibility to see a 60 triple-double type, like, from him, man. Like, he's capable of that. A few of those a season. Because he's not even in his prime and he's just 25. And that's the thing, man. So, with the way he plays, it's like Shea in a way, but he's bigger than Shea, and he manipulates better. He's a better passer than Shea. He manipulates the pick and roll, and defense is better than Shea. Shea just lives in the mid-range better than he does. He hits you from all three levels. Like, it can be bad, man. Like, bad, dog. So I'm eager to see it because when he on his game, I'm a fan. Like, I call him Larry Legend Jr. and I don't call him that lightly, bro. Like, that's big time respect because you ain't about to just call any other body Larry Bird, but he's the closest thing you got since him to that. You know what I mean? And it's not because he white, it's just how he plays the game, not being the most athletic. It's like Bird. They try to say when you're not athletic because you're not jumping out the gym, but athleticism is used in many ways. So he's a good athlete, and even Bird was. They just used it in different ways. But what he does and how smart he is and how he manipulates defense and how he's playing, and he's the ultimate chess master. He's 3 or 4 steps ahead of you. Like, if you ain't on point defensively, it's over for you. He can make it, like, he can get 25 and 30 in a quarter. We've seen him do it. We can see him get triple-double and a half. We've seen him do it. It can get bad. So, and then if he, with his improved conditioning, if he's able to apply just half of the impact he has on offense to defense, yeah, it's a totally different ballgame because he's crafty with his hands. Like, he'll get timely steals and stuff like that. It's just when they lining him up and going ISO, that's when he has trouble. But when in the passing lanes and helps our defense, he makes plays. So now if he can hold up in isolations and one-on-ones, yeah, man, it could be bad. Like, he could take a team out by himself consistently, especially now he got the condition and doing it, and him, and he don't get tired. He don't get, yeah, it can get bad. So I'm eager to see what this translates to into the season, man. It should be fun because now I'm sure the other guys, they done see this release. Now let me go step my game up, dog, because I see what Luka coming with. Okay, he ain't about to be doing all that to me, dog. Like, that sense of it's a ripple effect. So if you ain't on your game, it's gonna be bad. You're gonna be all over the place getting torched, man. They're gonna be like, you should got, and then what everybody gonna be saying about you? Should have got your ass in shape. You saw he was in shape in July. You should have got your ass in shape. That's your fault. So I'm excited, man. I love his game. I love watching him play. He's one of my favorite players to watch, man. So should be fun to watch, man.
Right. If you ever, I think, like, sometimes you go down like YouTube rabbit holes. I think I was down one like last week watching like rookie Luka clips. He looked totally different then, in the last couple of years. I can only imagine what this level of shape is, like you said, Cardell. It's a great point about maintaining it. That's the biggest thing, is maintaining it. And if he's able to, man. Good Lord. Dude, that's a lot to deal with. Out of shape, winded. He's giving people work. Looking forward to the NBA season.
And he's showing he's coachable. Because JJ Redick put it out there, you need to get in better shape.
He definitely
Because you gotta respect JJ for challenging guys like that. The whole team, like he just recently said that about Bronny. Like, you gotta get in better shape. Like, basketball players today don't understand the type of shape you need to be in to maximize and play and do stuff that you don't even realize you could do. That's when you know you're in shape. You're doing shit, you're like, oh, I didn't even know I could do that. Well, your body's equipped to do it, so you just instinctively try to do it, you could do it. When you're out of shape, you going to instinctively try to do it, and that's when you blow something out or tear something. Because your body like, I ain't ready for that. You know what I mean? And JJ understands because he's nowhere near as gifted as a Luka was as a player. But so he had to work for every ounce. And keep in mind, remember when Redick first came to the league, he did not get off the bench because he was out of shape. All he could do was shoot, but he couldn't move. He couldn't dribble. And he lost weight. So he can move without the ball, sustain, and light people up to be able to maintain an NBA career. Then he built up his handle to be a threat when they ran him off the three-point line. You see what I'm saying? Like, he was getting dropped. He couldn't defend. And then he even got better as a defense player where he could at least be solid on that end. That's what extended him as a pro. So he's looking at it from his point of view like, dude, if you apply what I had to apply with what your natural gifts are, come on, man. It's nobody in the league. You should be out here trying to get an MVP. So you should be in the MVP mix, but why aren't you? So as a coach, he's just challenging him, and I respect that, man, because basketball players, I don't know what it is with basketball players today, man. Just because you play pickup, that ain't tip-top shape, bro. That ain't it, man. Like, you got to put that real construction work in. You got to get in the gym, hit the weights, plyos, agility, pool, change your diet. You got to be committed. It's a lifestyle, and it can't stop. And that's how, LeBron, certain things I don't like about him, but he's one of the greatest ever do it, but I always give him props on that. He had it figured out in high school about making sure he was in tip-top shape. That's why he's been able to sustain such a high-level play for such a long time. See what I'm saying? So without it, man, you're not gonna be able to maximize your talent, man. It's just simple as that.
For sure. Definitely looking forward to it. We appreciate you guys. We will check in with you guys next week, same time as always. Don't forget to get over to our Roku channel. If you got a Roku television device, just type in a Focus TV in the search box, double tap OK to add the channel. Mystics folks, we'll see y'all later this evening and later this week.